Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is Joel.
My name is Sarah.
My name is Susie.
No. Oh, Susie. Oh, Susie.
Oh, no.
Touch my glowing jewel, Susie.
Space and time. Two dimensions we dream of conquering. But perhaps they have already been conquered. Not by man, but a form of intelligence far more evolved and far more powerful. A time walker. The Discovery.
They simply sealed him alive in a corner of Tut's tomb.
The Awakening.
This was in the coffin?
The movie this week is Time Walker, a.k.a. Being from Another Planet, or what was the other alternate title? Do you remember?
I believe it was very similar to what you just said, Joel.
Being from Space, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Time Walker.
Yes, Being from Another Planet.
Being from Another Planet.
Sorry. Yes, from 1982. Directed by Tom Kennedy, written by Jason Williams, Tom Friedman, and Karen Levitt. Starring Ben Murphy, Nina Axelrod, Kevin Brophy, Robert Random, James Karen. Let's see, Sam Chu Jr., Sherry Belafonte, and Austin Stoker. He was the actual scientist that was ever doing any science. You know, the guy with the electron microscope?
Yeah. No, that guy was busy.
He was the one guy.
He was probably the busiest man in this whole movie, other than the other guy who just walked a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
With great authority in his walk.
What was that guy? That guy was the...
he was the executive...
Chief engineer?
Chief engineer, yep.
Which is not... Is that a position they have at colleges?
You know, gotta say I'm not too familiar with the faculty of a college, as I've never graduated.
They called this like the Science Institute or something in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think it's Cal State Northridge in real life.
Ah, yes, true science.
But maybe they had all that stuff because it was supposed to be a sciencey school. I don't know.
California Institute of the Sciences. Well, okay, they kept making references to the reactor. Maybe if you have a reactor, you have to have a chief engineer.
You know what? That does make sense. That does make sense, right?
Yeah.
You need somebody who's got to make sure the reactor's okay.
I guess.
Because that's why he always looks really serious, right?
And he's got that serious PC that's set up to warn him.
Yeah.
With its awesome...
Oh, very serious.
Awesome display. It's cool.
I'm pretty sure every single reactor should definitely have some type of old school PC that blasts like a million different colors at you on the screen when something's going wrong.
Yeah, it gives you like a Legend of Zelda style map of the school too. That was my favorite part.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, oh, where's the Goblin store? Oh, it's right over there next to the cafeteria.
It's a rendering, okay? It might be a primitive one, but...
it's awesome. It is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
In a movie with a killer mummy, that's my favorite thing.
Well, I think you need to think about that a little bit more. There might be other favorite things in this movie too, Joel.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay. There's the part where the professor gets a massage. We already kind of talked about that.
But we haven't talked about that yet.
What? I mean, okay. What was your favorite part? Either of you.
Well, I don't want to spoil it yet. I mean, are we? We're going to do like a little timeline.
I think we should
right?
probably talk about it. Yeah. This is a Mystery Science Theater 3K movie, though, so
Oh, yeah.
some people have seen it.
Some people might know it, but
Yeah.
I didn't. I hadn't ever heard of it before.
Me neither.
Yeah, this is a new one to me as well.
Randomizer, so
Thank you, Randomizer.
just happened to be on Amazon Prime, and it is primed for watching. No, that was terrible. That was god awful.
You're forgiven, Joel.
Okay, smash cut. Ancient Egypt. Oh wait, it's not ancient Egypt. It's just regular Egypt.
Modern day Egypt.
We start out in space.
We're in modern times, 1980.
Modern 1982.
Yep, and you get a pretty good tour, of the Egyptian monuments in the beginning of the movie. Could be a nice documentary we're watching. Not exactly sure. I'm sure they're going to handle all that stuff very sensitively.
Oh, totally.
And we hear a couple of voices of people like, I don't really know what they're saying. We don't really have to know what they're saying, I guess. And then a wall gets torn down. So, somebody's doing their job. And we see the two cleanest grave robbers I've ever seen.
Oh, man. Yeah, they took the time to, press their clothes before grave robbing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, I noticed that your shirt isn't pleated properly. Can I just run this iron across it real quick? Hey, thanks, bud. Can't wait to go, grave rob with
brought
you.
a bunch of lint rollers just peeling off.
Hey, I noticed that you kind of...
Got some dust on you. We gotta stop and clean.
The professor, when he gets in there, they crawl through the thing. Professor and his buddy, he's like coughing like it's dusty, but it's like these guys don't even know what dust is. They've lived in one of those white rooms all their lives. It just came off of something.
Bubble boys, huh?
Yeah, a couple of bubble boys breaking in.
You guys just wrote a better movie than this.
Yeah. This part reminded me of the opening of Sword and Sorcerer, where they go to that special island to find the tomb of the evil, weird-looking wizard guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not nearly as cool, because that was like puppets and monsters and stuff like that.
Right.
This is just it's got a couple of corpses. They got like a green tint to them, but, just ignore that. Yeah. Good. Who knows what that is?
That's right. Does it really matter, Joel?
No.
Did you guys think there would be time travel in this movie?
Well, with a name like Time Walker,
Yeah.
you might assume something's going to happen. But Arrow was saying his friend was like, yeah, I watched it. It was called Being from Another Planet. And the whole time I was like,
Where's this bee?
hello? Yeah.
Time Walker.
Oh my gosh, this movie.
That was...
Mummy Ranger.
I honestly don't think... I think there's a reason why this movie would show up on MST3K. It's not, it definitely has some funny parts on it, but otherwise, if I was watching this by myself, I would have been like, that was incredibly boring.
I almost feel like the flow of this movie works with MST3K because there are a lot of those silent moments where they could just chime in real quick with their candids.
Right, they're interrupting.
Their riffs.
Yeah, they could riff it.
Yeah, 25% of this movie is first-person green view screen, so
I gotta
plenty
say,
of time for riffing.
I gotta say that's effective, though.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think it's effective.
People with a budget where they think their monster isn't up to snuff enough to be on the screen all the time. Sometimes you can really work it out. In American Werewolf in London, they do great first person stuff like that, and I think it works just fine here. Especially he's never doing anything weird. He spends most of his time very slowly moving through a thing.
Well, I gotta say, you have a very interesting interpretation of weird, or not doing anything weird.
I mean,
sure he
when he's in first person, he doesn't do anything weird.
Okay. Oh,
whenever he does something weird on the movie, we see it, which is great.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. I'm on board with you now.
Anyways, there's a tomb. They're in Tutankhamun's tomb, but this is not Tutankhamun's tomb, so it's like a mystery chamber. And one of the professor and his bozo friend almost get stabbed by a corpse with a knife, which it's not anything, right? It's not like an actual trap. It's just
Yeah, it was just a knife, I think, yeah.
It seemed like a booby trap, but it was like a skeleton that, like, had pressure on it.
It's a haunted mansion.
It was a skeleton with a knife in its hand or something. Yeah.
It's like when you're walking through Home Depot around Halloween time and they got the displays that just go off when you walk by. That's why I hate going to Home Depot during Halloween time.
Yeah.
Because I'm just there to, repair somebody's register and all of a sudden, like, holy crap. These guys at the paint section have to hear that all day because, it's always towards the front of the store.
Yeah. Are you frightened by air-inflated Halloween
Those
decorations?
are the awesome ones.
Okay.
Like the big dragon that are like air inflated. No, it's usually like a big plastic thing, like witches at a cauldron or like a thing at a door.
Okay. Oh yeah, like the coffin that swings open.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, and they all have the same laugh, which I displayed earlier.
No, I heard it.
Anyway, smash cut
It was good.
at the airport. We've taken everything with us. We're at the California Institute of Sciences, where the entire class is checking out this coffin. Professor's ready to go. They're going to have a press conference tomorrow for this discovery. And they haul in the... first they open up the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a beautiful sarcophagus, but, it's a little unusual, right?
Oh.
There's something kind of weird going on. There's a pig monster in there. No, wait.
A pig monster?
Pig statue.
Oh, yeah.
It's Pig God.
I don't know what I think I'm honestly
Lord of the
supposed to be a
Pigs.
dog. It just happens
Lord of
to
the
have a
Dance
pig
and
nose.
Lord of the Pigs.
Somebody made that Egyptian statue, and they're like, "Did you mean to make the nose look so much pig-like?" No one's going to care. It's Anubis. It's obviously Anubis. We watched the movie.
Lord of...
What's that pig monster? Worship at the altar of Porky.
Oh, I just thought of
Aardvark.
something.
Uh-oh.
Maybe it was trying to camouflage as an Egyptian, like, ancient, like, god or whatever.
What was trying to camouflage? Like a piggy bank?
No, I'm saying maybe the mummy
Oh.
was like, this is what a tomb should look like.
Oh, okay. Well, we find out the story of what the mummy is supposed to be. Honestly, that statue with the pig nose, I think it's unrelated. I think that's like from previous...
Somebody else
Like
had
another
that in the
business.
classroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we're all about Egypt this month, and Larry brought in his father's statue.
Everybody bring something in today. We're doing the part where we open the coffin.
Bring your ancient Egyptian statues to school day.
Anybody who
And if you got one at home, just laying around.
I brought this papyrus from home. Yeah, well, the professor brought an entire tomb, so why even bother?
It says your mom's name on it.
written in papyrus.
Oh, wow.
Here's my dot matrix printer. So they crack it open, nice little tomb inside, and when they actually pop open the tomb, there's a green looking mummy gross thing in there.
Somebody rotted the mummy.
It's
Yeah,
got some mold.
like it got in there, and those things are supposed to be sealed. Like, that's the one thing about mummies, is like they're preserved.
Yeah. I'd leave a pretty bad review, too. 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
They
Like,
should not have...
how long ago was this mummy buried? That's the kind of thing you're like, so how long can these things hang around in the coffin alive?
So to move forward in the movie, this guy's responsible for King Tutankhamun's death. So whatever King Tut was buried must have been around that time. And yeah, like you said, they buried him alive. We find out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did not brush up on my Egyptian history. I'm sorry, audience. That it's very irresponsible for us to be talking about this.
Good.
It seems
Don't
like
worry.
a common theme to have the curse of the mummy. Like, you're cursed for robbing the tomb.
Yeah.
And then bad things happen to you.
Yeah.
Definitely thinking of previous movies with mummies in it that we've seen on the podcast. The Adventures of Blanc Sec.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There was a curse around that, too, wasn't there? Something.
I mean, there was all kinds of things
There's
going
a lot of
on
mummies
there.
walking around in that one, wasn't there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, she takes her mummy, brings it back, and he brings back other mummies. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that movie.
No, let's get back to this one. I was sorry. I was just pondering.
Well, okay, so there's green stuff, and they bring in this X-ray machine by a couple of... For some reason, the students have run at this place, because the students are running this X-ray machine.
They're letting a lot of people without experience operating things.
Yeah, we get a couple of zaps in before the chief engineer's like, hey, look at the setting on that, and the meter's all the way in the red. Like, oops, sorry, Professor.
They radiated it.
Yep, you've given it 10 times as much radiation. And, let's see, at that point, I believe we close up shop for, until the press conference, and like everything gets kind of sealed up there. But one of the X-ray techs takes the professor finds a papyrus, which he, begins trying to work on translating. And one of the X-ray techs takes the X-rays, develops them. And he notices some weird stuff next to the head in the X-ray, which immediately to him, and this wouldn't occur to me, which is how you know I'm not an Egypt expert, there must be a secret chamber in this sarcophagus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have thought there were just like some specks or something.
Yeah. I would have thought I made a mistake in the dark room or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like there, or maybe there's spots on the lens of whatever thing you're using,
exactly.
Like, crap.
That's what I was thinking too.
It's like the common, like, that's a UFO, and it's like, if you analyze it, like, no, there was an insect in front of the lens or something like that. Like, these common mistakes could happen. But he turns out to be right. He pops open there. We got 5 jewels that I have definitely seen at Michael's.
And the bead section?
Yes.
This was the most unbelievable part to me, because it's a low-budget movie, which is fun, but the Egypt stuff, like, is so low-budget. Like, the coffin, the mummy, the jewels, the little triangular thing.
It's like a boomerang protractor.
It looks plastic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
it's
cheap.
But plastic, like, you don't imagine something plastic in a mummy's tomb.
Yeah.
Well, turns out this mummy is not from Egypt, so,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's where plastic came from. All I'm saying.
At this point in the movie, we think there's a moldy mummy.
Oh, much better title for this movie.
Moldy
Attack of the Moldy Mummy.
Yeah. He's got a little bit of green all over him,
Yeah.
He has some jewels.
They don't complain. They should be complaining about the smell when they crack it open. Maybe they're all just used to smelly things. I don't know. Attack of the Moldy
Mummy.
Sarah, why didn't you write this movie? Yeah, but we don't know what's going on. This guy opens up the secret chamber. He takes the jewels, but he leaves the weird protractor metal thing. And he closes it up again because, he doesn't want anyone to know. And then he goes through the trouble of redoing the head X-ray.
Giving even more radiation to our mummy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Giving it just a little bit more, that tasty, tasty radiation. Mm-hmm. And handing over that X-ray instead to the professor.
Because he's going to run the jewels.
That's right. He's got the mummy hand and everything, right?
Yeah.
Just like running them jewels. And he takes the other X-ray, and logically you'd think you might want to throw that stuff away or something like that. But no, he goes down to the reactor room, and he hides it behind one of the generators, things, and that's no one's going to get to it there, so he's safe, not going to get caught.
Nope, not going to get caught.
And the next morning, the professor looks over the X-rays, and they go and they're like, "Hey, they can see like the protractor shape in the X-ray, because he didn't take that when he did the second ones.
That's right.
So they go and they open up the drawer, but instead of there being a protractor in the drawer, it's just full of that green fungus again.
That's right.
Ew.
Gross.
There's nothing there.
Nope.
Nothing but fungus.
And then we see an incredibly realistic scene where that student who stole those jewels tries to sell the jewels to a person at a jewelry store.
Yes.
A shady shop.
And he's told they're worthless.
These are worthless.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah.
It's happened to a lot of people. So I was watching the Adam Ruins Everything episode on Netflix, and it was like they did a test where a man bought a diamond for $6,000, and that literally the next day a journalist went and tried to sell the jewel to any jewelry store, and they would give him only $1,000.
Wow.
At most.
Wow.
And it had lost. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I wonder what the percentage rate would be of trying for them to try to make money off of things, right?
Yeah. Well, there's like an artificial scarcity with diamonds anyways, because it's all owned by the same company. So it's like, yeah.
But crystals, on the other hand...
I mean, those are... He looked at those and he was like, these are worthless. Probably because he couldn't tell what they were.
He didn't
Found
know...
no value in them.
He didn't know what they could do.
No. If only he stuck around, he could have saw them glow. And they're mummy attractors is what they do. You want to catch a mummy? Put those things in a cage. Bam. Got yourself a mummy.
Good point.
Aaron, you got your eyes closed. Wake up.
No, I'm good. I was just scratching my neck.
The listeners are watching you.
No, they're not, Joel.
Yes, they are. Anyways, next day, we get the everyone setting up for the press conference.
Uh-huh.
We see our dean, who happens to be that guy from Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Passed away recently. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
But he's great. And he gets a chance to make a couple of really good faces in this.
He does.
Scary guy face. And while they're setting up, the press is, they're behind the line and stuff like that, getting ready to interview and take pictures. One of the students goes over and sees that there's more of that mold growing out on the drawer. And like a dumbass, he touches it without any gloves on and is immediately,
Does anybody die right away?
No.
Except for the guy at the party.
Well, he doesn't die right away, though. I mean, that's movie-wise, at least. But this guy, he gets the thing on there, and he jerks his hand back, so they rush him off to the hospital. And this is one of 27 hospital scenes in this movie.
Dang.
We spent a lot of time at the hospital.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussions going on.
Lots of panels at the table talking about what has developed, what's happening.
Yeah, we've never seen a fungus do this before. It's very fascinating.
Very fascinating, Joel.
Yep.
Yes.
But it's like killing them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like eating away at their flesh.
They said they're going to have to like cut off the hand or something.
Yeah.
Dang.
So it doesn't spread.
They recommend amputation. And we see that hand. And that hand is screwed up.
Yeah.
What are you laughing?
What you called it?
Spare ribs?
Yes. A spare ribs hand.
Or maybe some pulled pork. You can pull that right off the bone.
Yeah, it looked pretty messed up. Pretty messed up.
Yeah. And at this point, we've got at least 3 professors. We've got main professor, Egypt guy.
Uh-huh.
We've got this black gentleman who is the real scientist. He's the one...
He's doing all the hard
professor's like,
science work.
Yeah, gives him the fungus, and it's like, can you analyze this? He's like, yeah, no problem. He's always wearing a lab coat.
Got a petri dish in his pocket.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's that one part.
He just pulls it out. He pulls out the...
Never.
Excuse me. He pulls out the deadly violence fungus inside a petri dish, just in his pocket.
You gotta have that ready to go.
This man loves science, all right?
Hey, science is
If there's
great.
anyone in this movie that loves science, it's this dude.
And there's the lady scientist who is, I think she's exclusively at the hospital. So she might be a doctor, but she's not acting like the doctor. She's like, oh, this is fascinating, you know.
Oh, I see. Interesting, Joel. Interesting.
Okay, so
What's up?
we see that guy messing around with the electron microscope, so we see like some images which are cool. And then the transition where we see a guy in shorts run by the camera person.
No reason.
Sometimes you gotta just run in your little shorts, you know?
It's one of those things to like...
That's how it is.
In this
College
movie...
life,
yeah.
Yeah, to indicate, oh, by the way, we're back at the campus.
He wants to keep in top form, okay?
I understand. He's not a character in this movie, though. He's just...
No, he's just a man in weird colored shorts.
Anonymous.
Random running college student.
It was very noticeable, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, so after the incident, they crack open the sarcophagus and there's no mummy in there.
Joel, they need their mummy money back, real quick. They gotta get a refund.
The missing moldy mummy.
Yeah, the missing moldy mummy.
That's what it should be called.
Oh, 3 M's. Yeah.
Mildew mummies.
No, that's 4.
I don't know.
Oh my god. The mummy on the town.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Mummy goes to Washington.
Mummy goes back to school.
Yep. We can. No, we didn't. I was going to say we skipped over the whole "Oh Susie" part, or maybe we did.
We didn't. We haven't talked about it yet.
Oh yeah, we did skip over it because
we talk about the inappropriate nature of their relationship.
I jumped past the jewels are worthless thing.
Yeah.
Because after that guy gives him the second dose of radiation, there's this scene where
the mummy comes to life.
Right.
Naturally.
We see the something start to glow on the mummy's chest, and he like opens up the bandages, and like there's just like something that looks like a
big old gem.
Yeah, glowing eye gem thing. But yeah, he's got a jewel heart. And while the professor was working on his papyrus, one of his, I guess, students or maybe his assistant, I'm not sure,
this is
young lady named Susie.
Inappropriate dynamic between a student or a protege.
Yes,
and
professor and assistant, professor and student. It doesn't matter.
Little mix of business and pleasure there,
I guess.
I mean, he's smart, but he's also got away with the ladies.
And we see him with his shirt off later. You know, he's a good looking man.
Yeah, he's not a bad looking guy.
He's the Indiana Jones of this movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Indy had girls in his class that liked him.
That's true.
Yeah, Indy had a problem with younger women falling for him. That's the problem. That's a whole thing in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's kind of like,
it's a little, when you start going into the dialogue,
right,
a little bit, it gets a little, oof,
dicey.
Oof.
That's okay, Indy. At least you got dirty when you were exploring places. You're the real guy.
Yeah, you had cobwebs and stuff all over you.
Yep.
Monkey brains.
Let's see. Mummy walking around. Police are looking into it, looking for that mummy. Oh, and they think that the local frat might have taken it, so they haul in some of the frat guys.
They're like, I was in a frat.
I know how it is. I was a frat man once.
I was a frat man once.
I could have stolen a mummy.
Back in my day, we stole all kinds of things. Mascots,
hearts,
cars. No mummies, but you know.
Cadavers.
Yeah. Entire dinosaur skeletons. There is a prequel movie all about this cop who was once a frat guy who reformed.
It's just the title of the movie is I Was Once a Frat Guy.
Yeah. The moldy frat guy.
The moldy frat guy!
Moldy frat guy. I can't get over that, Sarah. That was too good.
I think that there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that is like so much to explain, but it's really kind of stuff that's not that big of a deal too. Like the girl stuff.
Yeah. Wait, what girl stuff?
The stuff with the girls where they're trying to give the jewels to the ladies to score points with them.
The distribution of of said jewelry.
Right.
Yeah.
Since he can't sell them, he decides he's gonna give them as gifts or sell them to his friends or something.
Well, it's kind of hard. Like one of the couple of the guys, like they pounce on him when he goes out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after he was already being a despicable person already, because that's
yeah.
Like,
This guy's not.
If you're worried if this movie didn't have boobs in it, don't worry. It does have breasts for some reason.
Just randomly, it's like Porky's like
on more than one occasion,
spying on ladies.
National Lampoon's Mummy.
The mummy fell back in the
Holy
ladder.
mummy.
Wait, there is a scene with a ladder. Oh my gosh! This is just Animal House, but a mummy.
That's not the girl that has the baby in the house, right?
No, the babysitter is... that happens after the fancy dinner scene, because one of the guys who knocks around the dude...
So before they go to dinner, he's peeping on her roommate who's changing through the window.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend's like, what the hell? And he's like, I got you this necklace.
Yep, and that fixes everything.
And it fixes everything. She still loves him.
I'm going to take you to a fancy dinner. Let's go to...
Get you a red dress.
Off Melrose. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, off Melrose.
You're tearing me apart.
Tearing me apart.
And, okay, so... A bunch of this movie also takes place in the area that apparently is the reactor area. And we see a janitor just minding his own business. And, in a movie like this, when you say the word janitor, it translates to dead meat. Right? Nobody brings up the fact that the janitor disappeared.
No one.
No one. Nobody cared.
Nope. Who gives a crap? Oh, it's Larry. Larry hasn't been doing his job recently. Well, that's Larry for you. He's probably on a bender again. That's the first occurrence of first-person mummy vision, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sneaking up on that janitor. And at the hospital, with the spare rib, they say, it reproduces faster than anything we've seen, provided it has enough food. And that food is people's. So we got a real problem going on here. At this point, the movie could go lots of places. Sure, we've got a mummy.
Yep.
We don't really know what that mummy's about yet, because we don't know what the jewel thing is.
Perverts.
We got perverts, yeah. College perverts, frat dudes.
Yep. I was a frat man myself.
And we've got a possible fungus that could, spread and kill people. I'm surprised they aren't quarantining everybody.
Yeah. They didn't seem too panicky.
No.
About the guy who's with the barbecue sauce arm.
Nope, not at all. Put some sweet and sour on that. We'll fix it right up.
That's right.
Anyone else hungry?
No.
Not anymore. Yes.
Coco is licking my foot.
Oh, that's cute. She got to clean that foot, too.
She's a good kitty.
Every once in a while, we see this woman who is photographing stuff. And we cut to a scene where she actually works at the college radio station, KCIS.
Everybody listens to it.
Oh, yes. Well, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't even know why they had to give her this extra detail. But there is a part where the professor goes on her show and is like, I just want to say, if somebody's playing a prank, they can bring back the mummy, no questions asked. And there's a chance it could be dangerous because there have been chemicals that have been found on it that could really hurt somebody, and blah, blah, blah. And this woman is played by Harry Belafonte's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she doesn't really have much to do. I thought that was just interesting. There's somebody.
Yeah.
I guess. That's two somebodies in this movie.
Two.
I feel like he should have been like, and Mummy, if you're out there running around, come back.
You're listening, Mummy.
Yeah.
Mummy, we miss you.
Oh.
Please come back. Let's see. Dean is watching a new program. Oh, yes. There are a couple of scenes with the Dean and his lackey, where it's like, we're gonna lose all this money. Oh no, we've got to do something.
Unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Just time fillers. Let's see. He sells off more of the jewels to. He sells another jewel to somebody that these things are custom made to go directly on necklaces. I don't know how are they like drilling and fastening? Like you can't just like hook it on. Like it's a
good
solid
question,
stone, right?
Joel.
Yeah, totally.
Logical, rational question.
Yes. Sarah, as a jewelry maker, what do you think?
In my opinion, you would either have to have a setting custom made specifically for this shape in which you could bend edges over to keep it held in.
Right.
Or you would have to wire wrap it in a way that you could then have a loop provided someplace on that wire wrap around it. Or you would have to drill a hole.
I see.
To put something through it so that you could put it on a chain, like a jump ring.
Knowing these dumbasses, I'm thinking they just went the super glue route.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they fixed it there, but it wasn't permanent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not permanent at all.
Easily ripped off by a mummy.
That's right.
Not that would happen.
No way.
But I'm just saying, watch out, people. You never know when there's two people you need to watch out for when it comes to wearing things around your neck: mummies and the people that killed Batman's parents.
Oh yeah,
Dang.
totally.
They're always grasping.
That's a truth. That's a hard truth.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
So what?
What?
So after they're at the fancy dining place, this is the first occurrence where one of those jewels just starts to glow. Wow,
nice.
wow, wow. We see these things are lighting up. It's kind of crazy.
Mm.
And they don't get an attack there at that point, but we see that the mummy is like going around town. It seems like he might be after these jewels. And we go to a different place where a woman is babysitting, and a guy comes in. He's got his own necklace to give her. You know, she's pleased with that. So let's have a makeout session.
Yeah,
in a very uncomfortable looking makeout session.
Seems natural.
Lots of writhing. Lots of. Sarah, do you have an opinion?
What?
On this, okay, as somebody who's babysitting, this kind of passionate making out here like that. Wait, how old are these people supposed to be that they're doing babysitting jobs and making out?
They're in college.
Yeah.
It's like a stereotype that a babysitter invites their boyfriend over.
Yeah.
And having watched many children in my time, I would say I personally have very rarely had somebody come over while I was babysitting. I think that's not cool, really, because you're not really paying attention to the kid.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking the trust of the parents, too.
The bad babysitter situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it has to do somehow with that, like, weird fantasy about babysitters, too. That, like, the weird, like, dad thing. I don't know. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
No me gusta.
Yeah. So, anyway, babysitters are sometimes there just to watch kids. But, this stupid guy dropped the jewel in the baby's crib, like,
yes,
for a second. For a second, there's, like, this momentary scare that the mummy might go into the baby's crib.
This is where the time travel occurs in the movie, because we don't know. Hey, we saw him give the jewel to her. And then we don't know how the jewel ended up from where she was and he was to the baby's crib. But we hear the pulsing sound, the mummy is approaching, and we're like, oh my god, the jewel's with the baby. But when the mummy actually goes into the room with the baby,
yes,
we're like, oh man, we could have a baby murder, but the jewel's not there anymore. The dude has it again.
No.
So they part ways.
Yeah.
And as she's going back into the house, all of a sudden, Mummy Kung Fu grabs the necklace from her thing while also knocking her back by kind of punching her chest.
He has force moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she just flies back with this burn on her chest now.
Yeah.
As good as dead, but I think she does actually survive at this point.
It's one of the hospital scenes later.
Yeah. And let's see, another trip to the hospital. We see the guy being interrogated, like, what'd you do to your girlfriend? Like, no, there was a mummy. There was a mummy. Yeah, sure there was, butthead. And there is a scene where we see the mummy take the jewel that he's taken from the lady and put it into one of the nodules in his weird protractor thing. And it changes color. Wow.
It's like a light bright.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you see like an energy spike. There's something green in the doorway.
Oh.
Is it the Incredible Hulk, Aaron?
No, sir.
All right, so our friend is being interrogated, right? After his girlfriend was horribly scarred or something like that.
Yes.
Anyways, I think we gotta skip a bit here because at this point it's just mummy collection time, with a bunch of circumstances where the mummy's finding opportunities to take those jewels back.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because we all know what we're really waiting for is this frat party.
That's right. The big night.
It's a costume party.
Oh, really, Joel?
Yeah.
What are we wearing to the costume party, Joel?
I don't know. What do you feel like wearing?
I'll wear a toga.
Egyptian clothes.
Oh, I was wrong.
Mummy clothes.
It seems a little inappropriate right here. Some people have probably been murdered by this mummy right now. It's not... Oh, I don't know. We're college students. Hey, I was a frat guy once.
That's right. I'm gonna put fake golden ears over my ears.
You are?
For some reason. That one guy, he puts fake weird gold ears on.
I don't
get it. I don't get it. I guess he was trying to look
Maybe it was like part
ancient.
of a hat? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. He wore his sandals and...
Hey, quick question. Have you guys ever been something Egypt related for Halloween? Or for a dress-up party, like a pharaoh, a King Tut, like a mummy?
I have not.
No.
I've been Cleopatra for Halloween once.
That's
Oh.
rad.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, I gave up Halloween pretty early on. Sometime in middle school, I would have to say, probably.
Mm.
And then it just didn't... I never picked it up again, really. Costume-wise.
I once dressed up as Yu-Gi-Oh, or Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh. No, I'm joking. Yeah. He's also an ancient Egyptian prince, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you didn't dress
But
up.
I didn't dress up as him.
Because that's pictures or it didn't happen. That's
Yeah.
the situation we're in right there.
I felt like they really wanted to play Walk Like an Egyptian in this scene. I don't know if it was already out at the time, but...
We'll have
You know-
to check the Bengals real quick, see what they're...
It's not that kind of movie. That's the problem with that. It's like, even though there is some kind of funny things going on, it really is very serious about its subject matter. Like, at this point, it's revealed that the professor, like, translates the papyrus, and it's revealed that the mummy was actually a stranger that they say they found in the desert, and the stranger appeared to be dying and was covered with this green material that they couldn't identify, and King Tut wanted to see this person himself, so he went out with his guards and everything like that, and he touched the mummy and immediately was scarred and eventually died because of his wounds.
Yeah. Looks like it came out in 1986, so...
Okay, no, far
Walk
too
Like the
late.
Egyptian
So what you're
was
saying
inspired
is-
by this movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the Bengals saw this movie and they were like, all right,
They were like Time Walker or Egyptian.
they're like, gotta levitate like a mummy.
Wait, that's that.
That's how it goes, right?
Yes.
Gotta float over there and kill that college student. Oh.
That's all I remember. Oh, no, that song was made for Mannequin,
Oh, okay.
and Mannequin exclusively. I haven't done that for the podcast. That's another one.
Yeah, Mannequin. I haven't seen Mannequin 2.
I don't think I have either, and we're probably better off. I don't.
I doubt that.
Mannequin 2 on the move.
I think we need to see Mannequin 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right.
You know that.
You could be unsure, but I know.
What's the name of the lady from Sex and the City that is in
Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall is in a weird thing where, for some reason, in the 80s they were casting her as possibly different races because obviously she's supposed to be Egyptian. In Big Trouble in Little China, Gracie Law, she's like supposed to be part Asian. Like, wait a minute.
Why?
Kim Cattrall is like the whitest woman I've ever seen. I don't. And in this movie, she plays an alien. Oh, spoiler. No, there's no Kim Cattrall in here. Let's see. So they realize our science guy, who's the one guy who's actually doing science, realizes that the fungus is reacting to radiation in a rapid growth thing. And that's why they think that the whole problem may have started. Uh-oh. The girl who got the necklace stolen off her chest earlier is being brought in for x-rays at the hospital.
Yes.
And so they get on the phone, they try to call him as quickly as they can. No, don't let her get x-rayed. Whatever you do, don't let her get x-rayed. We see the girl getting wheeled up. We hear the x-ray get turned on. And this is another weird situation where, like, somebody was like, x-ray, you just point a camera at somebody, right? Like, no, you have to put on like those like
there's not a lot of lead aprons going on.
All these people are gonna die. You know, they're all
no shielding whatsoever.
But he does that. You hear a scream from the thing, and when we get back in there, half this lady's face is gone.
No,
she's still alive though.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah,
it's some scary stuff, Aaron.
Yeah, Joel, I was chilled to the bone.
And now, I did my notes on my phone, and I don't know where my phone is, so we'll have to go from memory at this point. We're winding up to the close anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Is she sleepy, or?
I don't know. It's super cute, though. Your Coco listeners, Joel and Sarah's cat, Coco, is just kind of sitting on the table and eyes slowly kind of closing. Sitting upright. It's really flipping cute.
Mm-hmm.
She was like looking straight up and closing her eyes.
Yeah. It's a satisfied after you eat the canned food kind of cat.
She's not used to the lights being on, probably.
I think maybe she's just kind of basking in the light. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like sunshine. So at this frat party, nearby,
everyone's favorite frat party.
At this party, there's another couple making out in this movie on this park bench.
Yeah.
And they just want to be left alone.
Totally.
And one of the first things that happens is some idiots on their way to the frat party interrupt them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, leave us alone. We're busy.
Yeah.
And then I guess the mummy comes by.
Yeah.
Because I definitely remember him being like, what the hell? Can't you guys just go away?
And the mummy actually does.
Yeah,
right?
the mummy has
he
no
like
interest
listens to him.
Yeah, the mummy is not like a straight up murderer in here. Like he's not just killing random.
He's goal oriented.
Accidentally killing people by touching them.
He's just trying to get them gems.
It's kind of weird. And you might even wonder, like, would he even be hurting these people if he didn't have that fungus on him?
I mean, in any other situation, he's very goal-oriented, like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Trying to get those Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This mummy is just trying to get them gems.
The one guy he's actually definitely responsible for the death of, that guy deserved it. Because he was a weird, rapey weirdo.
Are you talking about Mr. College Kid?
That's it. No more women. I'm going to become a priest.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Immediately changes his mind.
Okay, that guy, that has the best death.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is pretty much the best death in the movie.
Because there's a jewel on the ground, and he goes and picks it up.
Because he tried to give it to a girl. This is the whole thing. He tried to give it to a girl he had a crush on, and she just full-on rejected him.
Yeah.
Because he's a total loser.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And so when he picks up that jewel, it's already firing off.
glowing, right?
Yes, and somebody else tell me.
Well, I think you happen to see a little mummy arm just kind of reach up and grab that gem.
He's like, hey, wait.
And then the other mummy arm kind of reaches back to backhand.
Like a perfect backhand, like Jet Li backhand.
Like a baseball bat backhand.
And if you were going to make GIFs, this GIFs, whatever you want to call them, out of this movie, this is the perfect scene to do it.
Click that boomerang button.
Because this poor college student, flies through the air with the greatest of ease.
Oh, yeah.
And just like in The Fury, we get several shots of him.
Yeah, there's a couple different angles of him flying and hitting the wall there.
Yeah, they were really excited about this.
They were. They wanted to throw this guy from day one.
And you can see his flip-flops fly away into the wall.
So good.
He got hit so hard his flip-flops
fell off.
Then he falls down and all you see flip-flops and then...
Yep. That's right.
And
every bone in his body broken.
And we see
every bone in his body.
We see our mummy friend kind of float off into the bushes in a really weird scene, like he's on a skateboard or something. He's just like, this mummy, he gets around a lot, but he just doesn't. I guess he doesn't like walking. I guess if you didn't have to, you just kind of use your invisible inline skates or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, why walk when you could levitate?
True,
that's kind of what I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Can't wait till I can just levitate everywhere.
We have to somehow suppress the anger of the masses. Somehow, I'm thinking levitation.
I think you're right.
Step.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to learn the secrets of levitation.
Yeah.
Leviosa.
And our friend puts the jewel back onto the thing. The second jewel, we got another power surge. It's affecting the whole camp. Oh, yeah, the computer's telling that guy. That chief engineer is on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think he was at home just kind of casually massaging a young lady's feet.
Right, he was on a hot date.
Oh.
There was probably making out that we didn't see between those two.
Oh.
Because he's an older man, I'm not sure this young woman was into it.
All the people that were making out, it seemed like they were like, okay, put your legs up in the air. Like, put your legs over in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And,
loop them.
It looked weird.
Yeah.
It looked weird. Like, the legs were, over somebody's lap and sticking over, straight up in the air. Not on either side. Both legs just straight up in the air. But yeah, the looping around in the one in the bedroom.
Yep. I mean, they're into it, that's people don't talk about this. When you're making out, oftentimes your legs just shut down. You got to find something to do with it.
That's true. It's true. It's not your focus moment. You're right.
It just seemed like a weirdly, choreographed moment.
It's real awkward. It's real awkward. Most of the making out in this movie, I mean, I guess making out in general, I guess if you, as a casual observer of people making out, it's probably just real awkward to begin with in real life.
Yeah.
But in this movie, 10 times as awkward.
Yeah, totally.
10 times.
The director was like, okay, let's do it again with feeling.
That actually might be the case with this,
Let's not do it again. Thank you.
I can hear the director.
Oh, man.
I made out once, and the girl had her legs in the air.
They were all over the place. She had a real case of Jimmy legs.
Too good. Too good, sir. Made out once.
I think it was more like, I know I've never done it before, but I assume...
I mean, it's not just your arms, right?
Right. This is people are amateurs, you're gonna
totally.
I do the whole thing.
My gosh.
Maybe it was lack of direction. I don't know, but yeah, it was
just do whatever you feels.
Just do whatever feels natural.
Just
kids.
do whatever feels natural. Yeah, we'll just turn the camera on.
No.
It doesn't look like you're very into it.
This isn't Larry Clark, filming kids. He's not just telling people to do what feels right.
Well, I didn't understand the reference. Sorry, Joel.
No, it's fine. Some people are gross. Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay, though. It's probably better I don't know.
I think there's a part where the professor has like a nightmare, a mummy-related nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
He wakes up and Susie's there. And she's like, I got this jewel. It's kind of weird. I don't know what to do with it. And he's like, oh, man, this seems like really important information. But you hold on to it. Go to the library. I'm going to go talk to the other doctor.
She had to go look at the microfiche.
No, he's right. Absolutely. She was looking at the ancient Egyptian
microfiche.
I assume. I don't know what she was looking for. Like, I think there was a detail, but
she's looking for all the pieces of the Exodia. Right?
I don't know what that reference is. What?
Oh, that was a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You and your love for Yugi.
Just say. It's the only Egyptian stuff I was in my brain right now.
Hey, man, I'm from Japan, too.
That's Joey. He's American.
Yeah. Oh, I'm American, okay?
I've never
us Americans sound just like this.
I've never actually seen an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Nor have I even played the card game.
You've never seen an episode
No, I haven't.
of Yu-Gi-Oh?
I haven't.
Listeners, write in today if you want to hear us talk about an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, man, I've seen a couple. Shane, my friend Shane was really into Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, cool.
Cartoon, not the card game for some reason. It's just as tedious as Dragon Ball can be sometimes.
It sounds like.
Dragon Ball Z, that is. Like, oh, we have to talk about our power levels, but what about my power level? His power level might be this. Oh, power!
That's some DBZ right there.
Yep. Okay, so at the library, we get some cool mummy action. And
yeah, Joel?
The ghost from the ghost librarian from Ghostbusters is probably hanging out, but we didn't see her. But there's a whole chase sequence going on here because Susie realizes that the mummy is there. She's actually, this is I think the first time we get the full shot of the mummy front and center with his glowing jewel in his chest. And we spend a lot of time with the mummy chasing after Susie. And the professor slowly realizing, well, he's walking around with the chief engineer. And they're just casual. They're like, let's go over here.
Yeah.
I think a mystery is afoot. They're solving something else. Whoever stole the term papers. But, lots of chasing. Lots of running around. Eventually she gets to a roof and realizes that, it's the jewel that he wants. You know, she's got on a bracelet that she can't take off for some reason. Runs up to a different roof, starts to climb up and down a ladder, and the mummy reaches out, does his kung fu trick, but this time he just grabs the jewel off of her wrist. But she does fall off the ladder, and in movie terms...
that looked like a lethal move.
Absolutely.
I think she was done. Dead.
Yeah.
Susie's down.
They showed her, having fallen onto the ground,
Susie is down.
Moving.
Oh, Susie.
Yeah, she's on the ground for about 3 seconds before we're in the hospital, and she's got a huge bruise on her face.
Yeah.
So funny. I don't know why, but it's just...
comical bruise on her face.
Because the transition is just and then I was,
it's just so funny.
She looks really bad. It's like they had a makeup artist that was like, I can make her look like something really bad happened.
Oh, she landed on that side of her face, all right.
They did. Yep, that's the work. And I think that's pretty much the last time we see Susie is when she's in the hospital.
Yeah. I think this is when we transition to the pink robe girl.
Yes. Because he's got 3 jewels in place right there.
Yeah.
And we keep seeing the power being fluctuated. Like the lady at the radio station's like, she has to take the cans off her ears.
That's right.
The cars are
She
all
can't
flashing.
run the radio station, Joel.
Exactly. Several days must pass in the length of the movie time, but we don't spend a lot of time acknowledging day versus night.
Yeah.
No.
What amount of time has transpired?
This is probably the best of the mummy invasions.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got a lady. This is, I believe, the chief engineer's girlfriend who we saw him with earlier. And she also has one of these jewels. And she's got a robe on. She goes into the bathroom. She's getting ready to take a shower. And we know these jewels are bad news. But she decides to we see her put on the necklace in the mirror with her robe on, kind of, admire herself, and then turn the shower on. And so you think, this idiot's going to take a shower with the jewel on.
With the jewel on.
Like, why did you put your necklace on?
Just to take a shower.
I don't know. But the mummy's already outside.
I mean, if my boyfriend had given me, a priceless gem...
You would wear it in the shower?
I mean, I would put it on probably and be like, I don't know. Like, this is beautiful. I love it. Wow.
What jewelry is okay to wear?
Oh, no.
In the shower?
I'm just saying it's reasonable to take it off. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
And then proceed the shower.
But this has never happened for me before. I don't wear jewelry, so
silver, gold, something that's meaningful to you.
I mean, like a wedding ring, you wouldn't take off because you're getting in the shower, right, or something.
Not
like
necessarily.
That. Right. What about earrings?
Yeah, especially if you just got your ears pierced, you would have to leave the piercing studs in for a certain amount of time. But yeah, there's I wore a necklace for several years without taking it off.
Oh.
It was
lucky a mummy didn't get you.
Present from my sister.
Oh, I see.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and so I've had different things that I wore for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm exaggerating, or this isn't that weird.
No, it was a weird cut because of what happens afterwards.
Well, the mummy knows that jewel's up there, so he just needs to go up there, right?
Yep.
That's all he does, right?
He floats up.
Right, he floats up the stairs.
No, Joel. No.
Well, what do you mean?
No, he floats up to the window. He's got to peek in.
Why is he... What? but okay, she's still there, right?
It's
she
a
sees him.
callback to the other guy creeping in the window and the other naked lady.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our first naked lady, right, in the movie.
Uh-huh. Peeping Toms
Peeping
is a
Tom.
theme.
And it's just the top of the mummy's head.
Yep. Yeah, just the top of the mummy's
eyes.
You see some wraps.
She's
just some wraps
already behind a curtain.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He can't see.
He's not even seeing any. Yeah, naked lady.
And they thought this effect was so cool.
Yeah,
that we pan outside to show that the mummy is above the ground somehow.
Yeah, on the second story.
Yeah, he's peeking in his second story window. We see him all the way down to his feet. And we watched a little bit again for the second time, and it's so obvious that he's standing on planks to me this time because it's exact where his feet end are exactly where the building siding is.
Yeah, totally.
That's he's floating. And he does. He breaks into that.
He doesn't go in the window, does he?
No, he doesn't. No.
See, why then? Yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, completely useless. Just done.
Just to show him floating outside of the house.
And the weird thing is we're not even seeing nudity. It's not like we're also seeing a thing. We do eventually see nudity for her, but it's just to reveal that she's alive, basically.
You would imagine what she looked like if she was naked.
Oh, I can imagine. I was doing it the entire movie.
I just think it's really phenomenal. The peeping Tom mummy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to tell you.
Next level.
That's next level.
and it doesn't even stop there because he eventually does get into that bathroom, and we got the green.
Yeah, he uses the front door, I assume, and kind of floats up.
And then, Psycho style, he pulls the curtain aside. And we see the woman, we see her cowering, and the camera is keeping above her breasts,
Yeah.
But she's cowering into the corner of the thing. We could obviously see she does not have the necklace on.
Nope.
And he's not going on sight.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing this sight. He's got some sort of weird connection with the jewel in his chest.
Yeah.
She didn't have the jewel on. He just wanted to take another peek.
Exactly.
I took the time to bother to peek in your window, and you weren't standing there. There's... Pull that curtain aside. And yeah, inside a little box right next to the shower, she's got her jewelry, so he takes that and leaves.
Too good.
That kind of reminded me of A Magical Day with like the little trinket.
Yeah!
Little trinket in a box.
Some Neil Breen for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely some Neil Breen.
Things that don't make sense.
It's a magical day.
Yeah. At this point, the professor has also solved much of the mystery himself. He's got the last jewel back from the guy who stole him originally. And he makes his way to the reactor
Yes.
area, and he finds the protractor with the jewels on there. And he puts his own jewel on the protractor thing, but it doesn't react at all.
Yeah, he puts it on the top divot.
And then some people come in, the dean, the dean's lackey, a police officer, a nun, a guy in a chicken suit,
Oh, yeah.
Frankenstein's monster,
The DJ.
All the authorities.
the DJ, yeah.
All the authorities.
They all come in and they're like, we knew you were the murderer all along. The professor's like, what are you, stupid? That doesn't make any sense. Like, no, because we said so.
Yeah, why? Because we said so.
Science. And the mummy comes marching in. Everybody freaks out. But he's not interested in these people. We see the first person. We see them kind of cowering, standing there, not able to move. He looks at all of them, and then he just kind of turns to the side in his floaty way, goes straight to the protractor. He picks up...
He's not there for them.
Oh, no.
No.
He's there for the protractor.
He is not interested in anything, and that's kind of the way it's been. The
Yeah.
movie's been kind of misleading that way. Like,
Yeah.
murderous, moldy mummy missing from mysterious metal munchkin.
Nah, it's too much. That's too many M's.
I'm trying my best.
Moldy mummy.
This is the most important part of the whole movie right here.
Absolutely. Which is that he picks up the jewel the professor put down, and it's like, no, dumbass, it goes here.
Yeah, it didn't light up because he didn't put it on the right one.
Once again, hey, are you stupid or what? As soon as he does that, he puts the other jewel, and we have a completed thingamabob.
Protractor.
Mm-hmm. And he holds it in front of his crotch, and it's lighting up, and his jewel is lighting up, and everyone's like, oh, oh. And then everything lights up really bright, and we get the cheapest looking alien mask I've ever seen.
He turns into an alien.
The wraps disappear, revealing his true identity.
Yeah. How did you feel about this alien reveal?
Lost my...
You love
I
aliens.
lost my... I mean...
This is all you ever hope for from any
Any
we
movie
watch.
ending.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure someone in 1982 was like, in 1983, a boy will be born.
This one
Let's make sure there's a peeping Tom mummy and an alien at the end, guys.
Like,
Oh, can you make sure a guy gets hit real hard and his sandals fly off too?
Yeah.
But make sure that ending, it's got that alien
alien
review.
At the end.
alien, and everybody's dumbstruck.
It's a gray.
Just don't even know what to tell you. This movie was
green.
This movie was so cheesy, amazing, and
Yeah.
this ending really sold it. Sold it to me.
Because we're at the end.
But it gets even better though. It gets even better because after the alien reveal, after he shows his true face,
His fish face.
and then the Mr. Suit like says, "Get him,
shoot him.
yeah," and then the cop pulls the gun, and the professor jumps in the way, only taking a superficial wound on the shoulder.
He jumps in slow motion without doing like slow motion on the camera work.
No.
So good.
Yeah.
It looks like, it doesn't look superficial to me. It looks like he takes an entire slug into the shoulder. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, in that
that's
moment,
a bad injury.
in that moment, it would have been a mortal wound.
Yeah.
But I think he
Should've
just
taken a...
he just kind of
Yeah.
It wasn't a death
Oh, you
blow.
saw he had those patches on his elbows and his
Oh, that's
shoulders.
right! They're bulletproof!
Yeah. Extra layer. It's like the guy, that had the Bible and the
Oh.
bullet didn't penetrate
He
it.
was such a high-level professor that he had elbow patches
Yep.
and shoulder
Yeah,
patches.
it gave him +2 against projectiles.
The higher level of a professor you are, the more patches you have
True that.
in your professional coat.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot.
So we find out that the entire time this was not a mummy. It was an alien trapped in a mummy's body,
Yep.
Oh.
The whole time.
transformed by crystals.
Yes.
So the professor gets shot. He lands near a new alien friend.
Mhm.
And our alien friend opens his hand to him, offering him what looks like maybe to pick him up. But no.
Like a
He's like,
wayward pine's hand.
Yeah, it's all
Long claws.
reaching for that baby. Yeah.
all silvery with those long nails.
Yeah. And they touch hands. They both start to glow and then disappear,
So
There's
good.
just a crystal left on the ground.
leaving behind only the alien's jewel, which Mr. Suitman runs over. No, it's mine! Picks it up and fourth degree burns on his hands right away. And then
Cut to space.
oh! And it never was.
Nope.
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. No, just
It
kidding.
wasn't to be continued.
That's right.
No.
Never to be
To
continued.
be or not to be.
We'll never know what happened to the professor, and I'm pretty sad about that.
Well, that's when we just have to write our own ending.
Oh, that's true.
In my imagination, he healed the professor. And they all lived happily ever after.
Well, we could do we could always write a script as fast as we can, kickstart it, and then celebrate the 40th anniversary of this movie. Right? Because it came out in 1982, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022. Yeah. We'll just have it written, produced.
I mean, if they couldn't get the Hawk the Slayer
Yeah,
sequel
fair enough.
paid for, I don't think.
Oh, you're hurting me.
I know.
But I understand.
Was it Hawk the Destroyer or something?
Oh.
No, wait, that's Conan the Destroyer. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
It was Hawk the King.
Oh, dang.
I can't remember. It's weird.
But it's unfortunate that it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's too bad. And this one doesn't.
Time
Our
Walker
imaginations
2.
can only be Time Walkers.
Time Walkers 2.
Yeah. Well,
Walkers.
Susie has been
Plural.
searching for him for centuries. She's like joined SETI.
Time Walkers, the search for the
something
professor.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She finally gets in contact with him, and it's like, don't come looking for me.
What you could do...
And it's an entire planet that's been overrun by the fungus.
Oh, see, that's where I was headed with this. They're trying to find the professor because the Earth has been covered by this fungus.
Oh, that's even
At this
better.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a dystopian sort of like...
Just kept going.
Yeah, it kept going. Whatever they opened in Egypt. Epidemic.
Yeah. It's been ravaged. They're already in space because they had to leave the planet.
Yep.
I thought this was kind of funny because we just watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers recently.
Yeah.
And that was so gross and effective, even though it was old and maybe didn't have the biggest budget in the
Yeah.
world. Like, I feel like that movie was so much more convincing at being, like, infected and hurt by something. Like, and this one was, like, the complete opposite. Like, so not convincing that you were really in danger and, like...
A much lower budget.
Yeah. And there was just, like, some green powder on stuff. It didn't
Yeah.
seem like, gross the way the other one did.
Totally. I know what you're coming from.
But still, you gotta worry about that space plant life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's what I'm learning from these movies.
So aliens killed King Tut.
Just that alien died. That fungus that was attached to this alien killed King Tut.
This
Yep.
seems like it might be like a incurable disease that he has.
I think you're right.
I say, like, there was like part of the ship or something like that all he had to do was reassemble and it could cure him, but he never got a chance because they like took him and wrapped him up and imprisoned him.
But the
They put the crystal separate in the
Yeah.
compartment.
Right, where some jackass college student would steal. Someday a jackass college student. I was in a frat once. He will steal those jewels.
Totally.
I was a frat man myself. Are you guys interested in watching the Mystery Science Theater one?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
I know you like that stuff. Drugs,
Whoa.
women,
Whoa.
drugs and women.
And, I mean, I don't know what this has to do with Mystery Science Theater 3000, but,
That's what I assumed that was talking about. Is it something else?
I mean,
Some sort of TV show
it's a
or
riff.
something?
It's a riff on silly movies like this one.
Oh,
This would be
okay.
categorized, Joel, as a riffable movie, and I'm glad that they did.
I see. I gotta go to sleep now. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll just wait.
No.
We'll just keep recording.
No.
You just sleep. Me and Sarah will just stay here.
That's a bad idea. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh.
Time Walker. Terrible name. Moldy Mummy Mystery. Mystery of the Moldy Mummy.
They came up with a second name for this, so I think they may have had some indication.
Yeah.
Being from Another Planet may have been the first name, and everybody was like, wait, what? And then they were like, okay, Time Walker.
Yeah, I don't really think either of them were. I mean, at least Being from Another Planet actually makes sense at the end.
Very
but,
last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert to those who are going to
Hey.
watch.
Hey, Alien Mummy is a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Stargate.
True.
I didn't get to complain about the whole ancient aliens thing either. I mean, this movie didn't like claim that the aliens were the ones who influenced the Egyptians, so
Yeah.
it wasn't other.
It didn't pull a Stargate in that sense.
Yeah, the general association between aliens and Egyptians for some reason. It wasn't being like humans couldn't have done that. It must have been aliens. You mean racism? No. Anyway, I'm going to read the outro stuff. You guys think of a lesson that you learned from Time Walker. The story of a young alien who just wants to get home. And the boy who loved him. Our professor. The professor who loved him.
Yes.
And Reese's Pieces. Listener, if you enjoy our podcast, or you want to write into us and give us a suggestion or yell at Aaron or something like that, write into pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, by the way, I announced this on Facebook, but yeah, the bare minimum has been done. If you go to PDSMiOS.com, that'll take you to our Podbean page. I also set up at the bottom of that page a separate page that's called Episodes. If you click on that link, it has a whole searchable thing where you can just go through and see if there's a movie we've covered or haven't covered, do
Cool.
Control Find or whatever. Search through the thing. If you see something missing that you want us to talk about, write us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDSMiOS, or do the email, like I said.
So if I dial up on my 56K modem and I start surfing the web, I just go to www.pdsmios.com.
What?
And that's what gets me there?
Say that again.
I don't know.
PDS.
Please don't send me.
Please don't send me into outer space.
.com.
PDSMiOS.
PDSMiOS.
If you go to please don't send me into outerspace.com, I don't know where that's going to take you.
Oh, someone else has got that URL, huh?
Aaron, why did you set up a porn site?
Oh.
I don't like it.
I didn't, though.
No prawn. If you got a few bucks you want to send our way, maybe pay us to shut up or something, go to ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS, and you can send some money our way. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you. And if you got the time or inclination, check out SarahKathleenRoberts.com to see the artwork that Sarah's working on. What's the website for Arsenal?
Oh, yeah, I work at a comic book store, if you've never listened to an episode before.
Why would you start with time?
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, Maybe there's a fan out there.
There's a
Come
big
on,
Time
Joel.
Walker fan, yeah.
The one Time Walker fan that just listened in to the end, and has gotten to this point in our episode, we love you, first of all. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
And then you should probably just Google search Arsenal Comics and Games, and you'll find where I work. And if you want to stalk me some more, go on Instagram and look up Dungeon Janitor. That's where I post my goblin drawings.
Yeah, he does lots of goblin drawings, and they're great.
Thank you, Joel.
Yep.
I don't do nearly as many goblin drawings as Aaron does. So I recommend, if that's what you're into, I recommend his Instagram. And thank you to David DeRoy for our theme music, to Jed Dowtry for our podcast logo, and thank you to our super fans and friends, Scott and Kim and Spencer, of course. And yeah, did you learn anything, Aaron?
Yeah, Joel. I learned a couple things from this movie.
Me.
Well, I mean, very easily, Joel.
Okay.
One thing. There are few words in the English language that give you this much authority when trying to get the upper hand in a situation. But one of the few words in the English language that makes people believe in your ability to know what you're talking about in a subject is you have to talk about how your school is accredited. This is an accredited
See, if I had my
establishment.
phone, I could have heard that note. You are speaking to the president of an accredited university.
Right. Recognize.
So watch your mouth.
Yeah. That was a line that from this movie that I learned was pretty powerful. Made me laugh pretty hard.
It's not like Trump University. This is an accredited.
This is an accredited university.
Anybody, not anybody can get in there.
Yeah.
I was a frat man myself once. Sarah, you have a lesson?
Yeah. There's so many things you can learn from it. If you have jewels, don't try to sell them back to a jewelry store. They won't give you any money for them. Even if they're worth money, they won't.
Mm-hmm.
How do I sell my jewels, Sarah?
I'm not sure.
You're better off finding a private buyer.
Maybe online.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like somebody you could sell to, directly, tell them, talk about where you got them and how you know. And all
do I just keep them at a big old cartoon treasure chest?
I think an appraiser, like a third-party appraiser that doesn't work for a jewelry shop.
No, like a box with ducks on it.
Oh. Like two ducks?
Two ducks.
Staring at each other?
As many ducks as you, depending on the worth.
Oh.
That's how many ducks.
Oh.
This is at least a 5-ducker.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea.
Multiple ducks.
I follow several Instagram profiles that just show jewels and gems when they find them.
Oh, cool.
And I love to look at them. I don't know if there are people that are just
They're
dying
shiny.
to buy them on Instagram, but I think they're kind of naturally miraculous.
Sure.
Cool.
I believe that. If I had a lesson that I would have to learn, that I learned from this,
Yeah, Joel.
it was that if I found a secret compartment in a sarcophagus, I would immediately tell the person who knew more about Egyptian stuff than I did, because I just get in a whole boatload of trouble otherwise. Seriously. Even if that hadn't been, the catalyst for a mummy coming and trying to get revenge on everybody who took his jewels, which is not exactly what happens in the movie. At the very least, you could have opened that up. There could have been, a trap. There could have been a poison thing in there. That fungus. What if that fungus had just been in the drawer already then? Pop it open, you'd die. This is just be cautious, folks.
That's right. The fungus among us.
Don't be greedy.
I have another lesson.
All right.
Don't stare at girls through the window of their house.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
When is it appropriate to stare at girls?
When is it appropriate?
Yeah.
Through the window of their house?
No, in general.
In general. That's a very difficult question to answer. But I would say the majority of the time, you shouldn't.
Okay.
Not to
Fair
say that a girl never wants you to look at them, but I think you may have to err on the side of caution a bit before you feel that situation out, because if you're just going to stare at a person all the time,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
Yeah.
Depends on if they're looking back, too.
Yeah, good point.
If you're just
Good point.
staring at them and they're not looking back, then that becomes creepy at some point.
What if I gave him like a necklace or a red dress or something?
It's okay for mummies to do it.
Okay.
Alien mummies are, I guess, given a
Yeah,
pass.
levitating alien mummies.
Only,
Stare all you want.
only levitating alien accredited mummies.
Accredited university mummies.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.